Years ago, at home on tea time, Dad, pulling my leg, said in Welsh, "Now, Jones, which is the great commandment? Na chwardda, thou shalt not laugh. And the second is like unto it, na wena, thou shalt not smile." He was reminding me that Christian joy was part of life, and I should not be so serious as to miss the point. It can happen to us as well. How much Christian joy evaporates so as to defend a point. Important, of course, but joy is not without a point either, and we're only here once. We notice that the Lord goes further than answering the question. He gives, actually, from what they know from their daily prayer, morning and evening, still there to this day for the adult Jew, Shema Yisrael. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and then on this goes, reminding them. He goes into this other one, indicating how inseparable they are, and indeed one is the test of the other. If one goes around the Christian world, one can put one's antennae in full-on mode and pick up fairly quickly, is this the case in this monastery, in this parish, in this prayer group? And we can ask, if not, why? Because if joy is not there, it means also that it's the symptom of an illness. For a while, in community in Italy, we had read in refectory a very good analysis from two very Christian psychologists, actually they were German. And one point was made which I've never forgotten. If one finds in a community that there is a high proportion of health problems, unduly high, then one can go further and one can probe, is there also illness in the community on the level of its spirit? I remember years ago I happened to be present in one of the English Benedictine monasteries at recreation, and there was just coming into the community to distribute the big yearbook which goes around the world every year in the monasteries, and he commented on one entry in it. I can't remember which monastery it was, but he said this: they had put in their blurb, and it has been said about community life here that there is no charity in the community. And he added his own comment: it had to be a community strong enough to be able to put that in its own blurb. The English wit, which says it all. And remember that when things are getting tense, the wit. Do you think it's just human? If we have it from a source. The Lord meant it. Laughter is the best medicine, and the creator of this big universe knew it. There is a definition actually in the scholastics: homo est animal risibilis. Man is, now in practice it means this, a species which can laugh. We're the only one. Therefore we've got it from our creator, and it's to be used precisely to live charity and joy. Now that's kind of important, because this day also each of us will have to make an option in each encounter. Will this encounter be fruitful in joy or pain? None of us, from the smallest to the greatest, is exempt. We can't avoid the issue: will I cause pain or joy today? And it's not complex. It demands a certain ingenuity. I remember in the monastery, because silence was very well observed, strictly by the rule, we were invited not to talk, not to engage the vocal cords in the house, but to make a billet. It's a note. Okay, one can make a billet. But then there was this other bit. One can add some kind of half-witty remark in a smile in the margin. It makes all the difference. Do you think that doesn't matter in an aquarium where one is always bumping into the same fish 24/7? It makes a big difference. And so it does in families. Some years ago, a gentleman had a clinical death and was shown at least a fraction of the beyond. Now, he wasn't particularly formal in his faith, but he was obviously a good man. And he was shown this and came back, because he was brought to life medically back. He said what he'd seen and understood with great clarity, because he'd felt it and been given it to feel in the depths of his soul, which carried on. He understood this, and I leave it with you. The universe is all about love. That's not complex, my friends. One day, some years ago, there was a father of a big family of about 12 who marched into church with his little tribe and put them in the pew and tried to get them to behave. And at one point, the whole parish heard this almighty wallop and took him up about the thing after the Holy Mass outside, and he just muttered, "I was just applying a bit of charity." Ask the one at the receiving end whether that was his opinion. It applies also to us, my friends. I remember when I was novice master, it was very, very important not to lose the rapport, the heart of the novice. We had to make the corrections, it was our job. But it was very important to do it with the old principle of what they called in Latin this: ridendo castigare mores, laughing to castigate habits. Little remark. By the way, angels do not normally wear scarlet socks, and that got rid of the problem of scarlet socks in choir. And on life goes, with pain or with a twinkle of joy. Brethren, think on these things.